Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, in this video, I'll try to produce a few more evidences regarding child marriage from the Bible and the oral tradition. Now, I found something very interesting regarding King Ahaz from the Bible. When I was reading the book of Kings regarding King Ahaz and his successors, i.e., his sons, I came across something really fascinating and I want to share it with you, brothers and sisters. Before we get to the smackdown, I want to read a couple of verses from 2 Kings chapter 18 and from 2 Kings chapter 8. 20 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord his God, like David his father. 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 2. And Ahaz slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Hezekiah his son reigned in his stead. 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 20. No, after Ahaz, his son Hezekiah succeeded him. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 1 and 2. This is where it gets crazy. Ahaz was 36 years old when he passed away. His son was 25 years old, Hezekiah, who succeeded him. This would mean Ahaz was about 10 or 11 years old when he became a father. This is not unusual in Judaism, by the way, and we'll get to that. But the question is, how old was his wife if he was 11 years old? We read from the Talmud, in earlier generations, men fathered children at the age of 8. The text continues and gives us examples from the generations of Terah. How much older was Abraham than Sarah? He was 10 years older than her, and as stated above, he was 2 years older than her father, Haran. It turns out that when Haran begot Sarah, he begot her at the age of 8. Talmud, Sanhedrin 69b. It's amazing how the rabbis had no problem with a 8-year-old or 11-year-old being a father. Now let's get to the heavy stuff. Now we all know the story of King David and Bathsheba. We read in the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel's, that King David, when he was taking a walk on the roof, he saw Bathsheba taking a bath. And lo and behold, he got attracted to her and had sexual intercourse with her. As a side note, I want our brothers and sisters to know that as Muslims, we do not believe in prophets doing such indecent acts. This is regarding the characters of the Bible. The story continues. By the way, Bathsheba was already married to Uriah. So King David, after he had intercourse with Bathsheba, she was pregnant. She said she was pregnant. So King David wrote a letter sent a message to Uriah saying to come back and visit his family, thinking that when he comes home, then he will sleep with his wife, and then if he finds out she's pregnant, he'll think it's his child. So Uriah comes home, and he doesn't sleep with her. He sleeps outside, and King David is like, "Why are you not spending time with your wife?" And he said, well, the Ark of the Covenant is there. It's in the battlefield. We need to get it back, and so on, so on, gives a long story, basically. So King David is concerned now. And Uriah, he goes back to war the following day. King David sends a message to the generals there, and tells them that send Uriah to the front of the battlefield. And Uriah gets killed. Now, there are some additional information that was said by rabbis that we seem not to know about or even speak about. And trust me, in this case, even Bathsheba was not an exception. This is the shocking part, guys. We read from the Talmud, Bathsheba gave birth to Solomon when she was 6 because a woman is stronger and can conceive at an earlier age. Know that this is true, that women conceive at an earlier age, as Bathsheba had already given birth to a child from David before giving birth to Solomon. Talmud, Sanhedrin 69b. Now this is shocking. Bathsheba gave birth to Solomon when she was 6 years old. This would mean she conceived at the age of 5. Now, prior to giving birth to Solomon, she had another child with King David. This would have meant she most probably consummated or had conceived at the age of 3. Could you believe that? This is according to the Talmud. Bathsheba was King David's child bride. He consummated with her at the age of 5, considering, let's just say, they were married, for crying out loud. But prior to her having Solomon, she gave birth at the age of 4. This is found in Sanhedrin 69b Talmud, Babylonian Talmud. This is what the rabbis are telling us. So again, according to the Talmud, the sayings of the rabbis, Bathsheba gave birth to Solomon when she was 6 years old. This would mean that King David consummated with her when she was 5 years old. Ask yourself, how moral was that? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.